We are back to Sherlock Holmes.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
But will you really, Wiggins? That is a question. Will you really? Alright, let's talk to the constable, right?
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
So we are still missing some stuff here.
I suppose that I shall have to move my stool now.
I suppose I'd have to move my stone now. Anyway, different shots, 2 victims, no common statements, no, none of that. Search the archives. I feel like there's more we could do here. Maybe not.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Right now, what's on my mind is not too much. Wait, do we still have one of those portable shits? No, right? God damn it. Alright, back to Baker Street. So after we search these archives, right, I'm pretty sure we're going back to Scotland Yard and questioning the brother and see his side of the story. Because that's one of the things we definitely have to get first. Anyway, where are we going to find this goddamn bracelet? Antique bracelet. Encyclopedia, maybe? Newspapers. No, right? Antique bracelet with a ram's head. I feel like it would be in the encyclopedia, if anything. Nothing. Unless I missed it, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing. Don't think it's going to be in the research, obviously, or maybe. Martial arts. Marks and symbols? No, right? Alright, so it's got to be in an encyclopedia. And besides, it's an antique bracelet. History, maybe. Or maybe not. Are we gonna just have to randomly go into shit? It's definitely not body.
That is... That...
Here we go.
That...
Assume it's definitely not technology or economic science. Correct?
Here it is.
Oh, there we go.
I
So
need
it
to
was in the
continue
arts
my
and blah, blah,
research
blah,
in
blah,
my
blah.
archives.
Hold on, first of all. These beautiful antique jewels represent a part of the Hellenistic treasures collection. Depicted are the 5 heads of mountain rams upon a bracelet, necklace, ring, and ring, each made of pure gold. The 5 rams of Medellin have been missing from the museum since 1885. Interesting. So we got one piece of it, so there's multiple pieces, right? How many were there? 5? Nope, 3. Bracelet, necklace, and ring, right? So we got the bracelet. Anyway. What else are we searching here? So these would be antiques. Wait, newspapers? We saw an antiques category, correct? I thought we saw one. Guess not. Part of an ancient jewel set that belongs to the Hellenistic Treasures Collection, 1885. Bam.
Here it is. One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
So, Kenneth Butler was one of the dudes that was dead, correct? Find a use for the key. We still gotta do that. The Hellenistic treasure was stolen yesterday evening while being transported by cab on their way from the British Museum to the Glassford Fine Art Exhibition. Pawn shop owner Kenneth Butler contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawn shop in Church Street. The police have since captured the described man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley, who had been in the process of escaping London via the port. Blah 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 blah. Vincent Foley refused to confess as to where the remainder of the treasures were hidden. He was eventually imprisoned. The lost treasures are still... So we got one piece. There's a bracelet. So are we going to the yard or are we going to the pawn shop? Let's go to the yard first.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
These people, man, don't know shit. Worst police ever. And to further show you guys proof of it, why is this guy so dark? You're standing right next to a fucking lamp. Why are you so dark, friend? Mr. Holmes? No personality in these cops, man. Zero personality, look.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes? Why can't we go upstairs, huh? What do you guys have hidden upstairs? Wait, this is evidence. Let's check out the evidence first, shall we? Some cigarettes.
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting. A cheap watch. Bought with his own money, no doubt. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver. A reliable weapon.
How reliable can it
seems
be?
as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
And let's just turn it around like so. And then there's nothing. 2 shots missing.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
So why was one shot exponentially louder than the other? Huh? Riddle me that. Wow, look at all this stuff now. Long lost art. 2 victims? No? What? They're like, wait, what? Different shots. Bam. Correct. And then we got... this and maybe that. Nope. Nope. Oh, there you go. Progress. Leighton Chapman had nothing of any value in his possession. Is there really after the crime? That definitely has a correlation. And then none of these have a correlation, correct? Anyway, let's see what we got here. Simultaneous shots. Turner could hear the contrast between 2 fire shots as, in fact, 3 shots were made. What? At first, a single shot was fired, and then 2 guns fired simultaneously directly afterwards. Turner could hear the contrast between 2 fire shots as they were made from different points in Half Moon Street. No, that wouldn't... I don't think that would matter. Unless he was, like, that much further away. But there wasn't that much of a time period between the 2 shots, correct? For him to be on one end of the alley to the other, I guess. I mean, I'm pretty sure, because, like, the sound would bounce off the walls, right? It would just amplify, none, like, regardless. So alright, we're gonna go with this one for now. Correct? Double murder. Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotti were the victims of a double murder carried out by one person. Alright, maybe. Alright, we need to get something else for that right now. Anyway, the witness testimonies in crime weapon clearly point to one possible culprit. That we don't know for sure yet. Anyway, let's interrogate this young man. See where we got. He doesn't look so young.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
I thought he was gonna be like a little ass kid. Looks like
Good
a grown ass
evening,
man to
Mr.
me with a
Chapman.
scar on his face.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
What happened to your face? That's the first thing I want to know. Who gave you the $150, man? Who did this to your face? Occasional fights, so he has a big ass scar on his face. I'd say it's more than the occasional fight, considering he has like bruises here. So he's a tempered young feller. He's an office clerk. Yet you got Wiggins out there on the streets looking bummy as fuck. He's been to jail. Who was the other guy that was that's been to jail? Which body was it? Was it Kenneth? Can't remember. Damn it!
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work, and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head, and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead, and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
Then when did he fire those two shots?
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
So he didn't shoot the gun, he took the gun, supposedly. Only if fingerprinting was a thing back then, right? Because we would obviously find multiple prints on the gun, etc., etc., etc.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
So that flash you saw was from the mirror, right? Most likely. The guy put like some type of light on it and it just fucking like blinded him. But then the floral lady didn't say anything about a man like messing around with a goddamn mirror. You figured that would have been kind of conspicuous.
Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
What? No footsteps? He was on rollerblades? Skateboard? What?
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Lies. Why were you lying? What the hell does Turner's limp have to do with anything? Oh, right here maybe? Right? Bam!
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
So it was revenge.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
I mean, I don't know, man. There might be some type of collusion going on. Alright, let's see what we have here, right? Old acquaintance has something to do with the two victims. No, what? Why the fuck does it not have to do with anything? Brian Vercotti and what? Definitely has to do with something. Alright, anyway. Here we go. No? Shit! Shit! Are we just gonna play the random game for now? Loot list, Leighton Chapman had nothing of value. That shouldn't have... That, nope. What? How does it have... What? Fuck this. Anyway. And all that has nothing to do, right? Oh, never mind. Alright. Now we can confirm that those have nothing to do with each other. Son of a bitch. I'm already lost in this case. I got a feeling I'm just by the end of it. I'm just going to be confused and know tomorrow. That's the downside of split. Fuck. I should have just done this all in one shot. Anyway. Imaginary man, the person who Leighton Chapman describes in his statement is a figment of his own imagination created to vindicate himself. Maybe. The violent crime committed in Half Moon Street by Leighton could have been a personal motive. That's probable. Alright, I no longer think it was simultaneous shots, right? Because of what's his name said? Oh, what is this? It's a double murder. We're already at the end of the case. Leighton Chapman committed a double murder at Half Moon Street. An old and mutual enmity between Leighton Chapman and Brian Vercotti was the motive for this crime. We already got a conclusion, guys. That's the end of this case, and that's definitely not it, right? Anyway, we are going to go to... Where are we going, actually? we are going to the pawn shop, but that is going to be for the next part, because for this part, we are done. Give the video some likes, add it to your favorites, all that good stuff. See you guys for the next part.